This is the top quote from How I Built This by Guy Raz, and it's really, really good. This book feels nice. It's shiny. Can you see that? This is my favorite podcast. Who doesn't like founder stories? Ready? There is a name for a person who creates something purely out of passion. Hobbyist. There is a name for a person who creates something out of passion that solves a problem that only they have. Tinkerer. There is a name for a person who creates something out of passion that also solves a problem that they share with lots of other people. Entrepreneur. This probably hits home if you're an entrepreneur. It did for me. The quote is special because it's the summary of a much larger question, and that is, where do great startup ideas come from? This is Carol's daughter, Lisa Price. You know, Carol's daughter? Well, Lisa worked on The Cosby Show in the late 1980s as an assistant writer, and it didn't pay much, but at the time it was a big deal. Lisa also had a hobby, and that was to make lotion for skin like hers, specifically her skin. Listen.
So I just love this idea of this blending of fragrances and creating these unique scents.
But you weren't thinking about this as a business?
No,
initially,
not at all.
Just to do for you,
just to do for me. And that's what I began to do. And, the recipes were very bare bones. And, they used things like paraffin and lanolin, which I wasn't too crazy about using. I wanted to use beeswax, and I wanted to find cocoa butter. I used the skeleton of the recipe within the book, and then I just started adding my own combinations and tweak it. That was the late 80s. I began selling because I had actually gotten something that, looked good and worked. And my mother encouraged me to sell at a church flea market in May of '93.
Well, she was saying, hey, Lisa, this stuff is pretty good. You should sell this. People might buy it.
That is pretty much verbatim what she said.
And what did you think? Did you think, oh God, I don't think anyone's going to buy this. This is just...
There you go. I did not. I said, really, Mommy? Do you think people would pay for this? And she said, yeah. She said, your butters are good. My skin looks great. And she was using it on my little brothers and sisters. And, she said, I think you should try.
Of course, it seems obvious now that other people wanted skin products who shared her same skin needs. She catered to millions of other Americans with more melanin in their skin tone, but at the time, when the market didn't exist, it was hard to say that she understood something that the rest of the world was missing. Carol's daughter later sold the brand, Carol's Daughter, to L'Oreal for millions of dollars. If you watch my Paul Graham video on organic startup ideas, you know why this type of idea is so good. And Guy actually referenced Paul Graham. That's also a top highlight. The way to get startup ideas is not to think of startup ideas, Graham wrote. It's to look for problems, preferably problems you have yourself. It sounds obvious to say you should only work on problems that exist, yet by far the most common mistake startups make is to solve problems no one has. Lisa solved a problem for herself as a hobbyist, tinkered around to make the lotion perfect, and there is a name for a person who creates something out of passion that also solves a problem they share with lots of other people. Entrepreneur. She was all three, which is why it's such a magical quote, because it's not just Carol's daughter's story, this is the story echoed by many successful startups. There's so many deep product lessons in this beautiful little quote. Thanks, Guy. You got this.